Okay, it is very much possible to do the op art piece in Photoshop. So we're going to do the Photoshop. We're going to go to File and New. When we're here, we're going to go to US paper size. Then we're going to go to, so make sure it's 8.5 by 11 inches right here, 300 for the resolution. RGB is okay, and you're going to click OK. Once this pops up, you can go to image rotation 90 degrees if you want it horizontal, or you can keep it vertical. It's up to you. Then you're going to go to File and New. This time you're going to change from inches to pixels. We want to do 300 for the width, 300 for the height, and we're going to click OK. 300 for the resolution, RGB and white is fine. We hit OK. So when this smaller box pops up, what we're going to do, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see better. From the ruler on the side, if you don't see your rulers, hit Command R and they'll pop back up. Click from the ruler, pull and drag, and you're going to get a line. I want you to go halfway through. So this is 1 inch all the way, so you do a ½ inch. Pull from the top, go a ½ inch down, just like that. Then you're going to switch over to your rectangle tool. Make sure at the top the style is this little slash, which will fill it with whatever solid color you put here. So here I'm going to click, I'm going to choose black. The first one we're going to do in black and white. I'm going to click. You can start outside here in the gray, that's fine. Click and pull, you'll feel it snap, let go. You'll notice that it added 1 layer right here. Then you're going to take the move tool, hold option so you can copy, click, drag, and drop to the other corner. So now I have 2 blacks, 2 whites, right? So here it is, right here, very simple. I'm going to hold command, click each layer, just like this, and then right click on them and merge those layers together. Now once they're merged together, I'm going to do select all so that everything is selected. You'll see a selection around the entire box. Then I'm going to go to edit and define pattern. Then you can call it whatever you want. You can call it checkerboard pattern, or your name and pattern, so I could put Shimsky pattern, something like that. All right. Then you hit OK. Now once you hit OK, it's now in the system, so you can close it. You don't have to save it. You can don't save. But then you're back to your first one that you did. That was 8.5 by 11 inches. Here you go down to the bottom of the layers panel. You click on the little black and white cookie, which is our fill and adjustment layers. You click on them. You're going to go to pattern. When you go to pattern, you'll see that if you click right here on the pattern, there's a bunch of patterns, right? I put a lot in over the years here, but this last one is the one that I just put in. So I click on it, then I click like this, and you'll see the scale of it says it's 100% right now, so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to bring it down. We're going to go down to like 30%, something like that, maybe even 20. You can also type it in. I'm going to go down to 20% just to see. All right, then I'm going to click OK. So now you'll notice that it looks like here's the pattern, here's a link, here's a mask. What I want to do is right-click and rasterize that piece. Okay, now from there we can make multiple copies of this later on, but right now I'm just going to leave it as is, and here's the example. We're going to go over on the toolbar to any of the selection tools. You could do elliptical tool, rectangle tool, you can even use lasso, polygon, or magnetic if you want to try. I'm going to show you an example using the elliptical. Once I grab this, make sure your feathering is at least a 15 to 25. I'm going to put mine at 20. All right? Then you go anywhere you want. I'm going to click and hold Shift and Option and pull and make a circle. I don't know how well you can see it. I know it's a little hard to see on your screen, but you can kind of see it blinking. So I made a circle. Now from there, what I'm going to do is, first possibility, I'm going to go to Filter, Distort, and I have all of these options to distort. The two that work best are Spherize and Pinch. So watch, I'm going to go to Spherize. This little box is going to pop up for us. It asks you how much you want to do and the mode that you want to do it. I'm going to keep it normal. I'm going to put it at 100. You see it's going to bold it out. I'm going to hit OK. And you see it kind of bolds it out. It looks like it pops. Now, if you do it again, Filter, Spherize again, Command F, sometimes it does it a little too much, but that's up to you. And you'll notice that now your eye starts to really go a little crazy on you. The selection is still there, so go to Select and Deselect, and you can see the way that just kind of pops at us. Now, we can try other shapes as well. Matter of fact, you can go to another one. You can do it somewhere else, like here in the corner. I still have a feathering. This time I did a feathering of 35, but you can do whichever one you'd like. I'm going to go to Filter and Spherize again, and that's going to pop that one out. So you can see this kind of difference in the shape. Now, you can continue to do that by making, like I can make a big box that goes around both of those shapes that I just did, and then I can do Spherize again. And now it bolds out the both of them. Now, I don't particularly like that shape, but I just want you to see that you can do one on top of another on top of another. Also, something you can do. I'm going to go back to the ellipse. You can click and drag by holding Shift. Right-click, layer via copy. So now on layer 1 is just that circle. So if I take the Move tool, you see that it moves with me? Now it's really starting to get kind of trippy and your eyes are playing tricks on you, right? You can still do Command T, right? Edit, Command T. You can rotate this. You can make it bigger or smaller. You can put it wherever you want, right? You'll notice that the edge is soft and kind of see-through. You see how you see through to the other side? That's because I did that feathery edge. So if you don't want that so much, then you got to bring down the feathering before you select it. So for each one of these, you can kind of do the same thing. Filter, spherize, maybe you do a pinch. I was telling you before about the pinch. Same kind of a box pops up. You tell it how much you want it to pinch it. You hit OK. And you see it kind of sucked it in that way. Now you can try all of them. Go through the list. Don't be afraid. Try some of them. Check them out. See what they do. Twirl them. Zigzag them. See what works best. Sometimes if you go too much, looks a little crazy. Doesn't really work for what you're trying to do. But you got to give them a shot in order to see. That's sort of the basics of it. The only other things you can really do are on the layers that you have, you can copy anything you have. So just as an example here, imagine I hide this one for a moment. I go back to this one. I take a selection. I make another selection around this one. All right, so this is one I already have. We did it was the first one we did. If I right click, layer via copy that one. So now that one is on its own layer, right? So I could take this one, I could copy it a bunch of times into the corners. I could resize them, I can put them wherever, right? Then on the layers themselves, you can double click a layer. So I just double click this bottom one, right? I can go to color overlay or gradient overlay. So watch what happens when I go to a color overlay. I click color, it covers the whole thing in red because that's the color that's here. If I change the blending mode to darken, now I see through it, but I still get the red. So technically, I could do the same thing to the other ones, right? So I could take the effects from here, hold Option on my keyboard, click and drag the word effects from here into this one. I could do the same thing again into this one. See what starts to happen? Then in the background one, I could do the same thing. Double click, go to color overlay, choose a color that's maybe a complement like green. Hit OK. Go to the blending mode, change it to darken. And once it renders itself, you can see how it's going to pop now because I use those complementary colors, so the reds are really popping out if you look at them. You could also try things like, I'm going to uncheck color overlay here. I'm going to click on gradient overlay instead. And you see it's applying this gradient. So if you click on this gradient and you want to change it, you can change it to anything you want. You can make your own here at the bottom. So for example, I could click on this one and maybe I'll take away this. And I'll make it go, I'll change the orange here to a green. I'm going to make new, so I just added a new gradient to the bottom, basically going from green to yellow. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to change that blending mode again to darken so I can see those black dots that go through, right? Already starting to look really cool. You could also change the style of the gradient. So right now it's at linear, you can go to radial. Now it looks like it's going from the middle. And then you can adjust the scale of that. So I can make it look like oops. I'm going to pull this one down for a second. I'm just changing this. I'm just going to copy the yellow, pull it out a little bit so there's more yellow in the middle. And we'll use that one. So you can see now how the yellow is here. You can actually take the move tool and move that yellow so it's exactly where you want it to be. And you can increase the size of that yellow. Might take a few seconds because I got a lot going on here, but you can always slide the scale to make it larger, make it work, and then hit OK once you like it. See if it takes effect here. Okay. You can also go into Illustrator at any time, click on Illustrator, grab what you've done in Illustrator, select it all, copy it, go to Edit and Copy or Command C, then go back over to Photoshop, Edit and Paste, make it pixels, hit OK, and it's going to import this one that we just did in Illustrator. But it's going to pop it into Photoshop. When it comes in, you just hit return to OK it, and now you can work with this one. You can do the same kinds of things to this one if you want. They can be used in the background. They can be used anywhere you want to, continually make a nice kind of design, a unique design for your op art piece.